Welcome to Cheap Records and Cheap Beer. My name's Dan, this is Tim.
Hello.
Just to recap, the rules of this little series is one of us has to buy a record for £5 or less, and we also have to have a cheap beer to go along with it for, is it £2.50 or less?
Yes. So the record less than £5 and the beer less than £2.50 per beverage.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, you've picked the record today,
I've picked the record today. I picked this up for, I think it was £3 from a Discog seller that I use quite a lot. This is the debut album from M, the English band from the late 70s. It's called New York, London, Paris, Munich. Everybody talk about
pop music.
Yeah, which is obviously the big hit single, which we'll get into in a second. So let's talk about the beer.
Yeah, so
which you've chosen.
I've chosen a really crap beer for today. So
it looks great.
I just saw this.
Like lemonade.
I thought, I saw it and thought of us.
Yeah.
Foster's proper Shandy. We've got the European Cup on at the moment. This would probably go down quite well with a game of football, wouldn't it?
It probably would. Yeah.
On a summer's afternoon.
Maybe more than one of them, I would say.
Yeah, well, you don't want to get too drunk, do you? And
hot on your Shandy.
Something a bit more refreshing.
Yeah.
So there you go, Tim. Is it 3%?
It's 3%, yeah, so it's not really proper Shandy, I don't think.
I'd say it's quite strong.
It's quite strong for a Shandy, yeah.
Shandy's usually half-half, isn't it?
This is probably not much weaker than an actual real Foster's.
Yeah, there's not much alcohol in Foster's anyway.
No.
Foster's is a pretty dire beer. But I've got high hopes for this.
Because
I like a Shandy.
I can't wait to see what colour it is.
I like a Shandy.
Yeah, you do drink a lot of Shandy, don't you?
Well, when I'm playing gigs, I don't. To be honest, I don't really drink before I play a gig now, anyway. But when I did, it was a Shandy, so I remain quite compos mentis.
It's very fizzy.
It is, isn't it?
Almost like it's got lemonade or something.
It's got. I can smell the Shandy already.
I'm pouring it really slowly to see the colour. It literally just looks like lemonade.
For those who might not know, maybe in America, I don't know if they have Shandy in America. It's lager and lemonade.
Literally half and half, isn't it? You ask for a pint of Shandy in a pub in the UK, and they will give you half of lager and a half of lemonade to fill it up with.
In Germany, they actually have a drink that's very much like Shandy. I can't remember what it's called.
We used to ever get Shandy Bass in a can. Remember?
Oh, well, the non-alcoholic one for kids.
Yeah.
I used to love that as a kid. Yeah,
nice.
I was trying to find some of that for my kids because they were asking. I can't find it anywhere.
I don't know if they still do it. It was a thing when I was younger.
Yeah, when you're on night out with your parents and they're playing bingo or something.
You'd have like, I've got a beer as well.
Yeah, you feel like you're joining in.
Yeah.
Let's get a snifter.
Let's see.
Yeah, it just smells like cheap Shandy.
Yep, it tastes like Shandy.
Yeah.
It's not a million miles away from Foster's, is it, to be fair?
It's just a bit sweeter, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, let's have a look at the...
That's alright, actually. Quite refreshing.
So... yeah, citric acid.
Brewed in the UK, isn't it?
I would have thought so. Being Foster's, brewed in Europe by Heineken UK Limited.
In Europe. That's a bit...
Netherlands.
Is it?
Well, they got Heineken UK based in Edinburgh, and then it's probably brewed in the Netherlands and shipped over.
Right. Okay.
Because Heineken own Foster's, the brand. Because Foster's is like a Australian thing, isn't it?
Heineken own pretty much everything right now, don't they? Yeah.
So how much did you pay for this? How much did you get
Oh yeah,
from?
sorry. So that was for a 4-pack. It was £4.99.
So £1.25 each.
£1.25. It was in Tesco. I think that's a club card price. I think it's a bit more expensive without the club card. But for
£5 days,
for four cans, it's alright, isn't it? I would rather drink that than Foster's.
Yeah, I would. To be fair, that is pretty decent.
It's quite refreshing.
Yeah, quite refreshing.
So M.
It's
a nice copy.
It's in decent condition. I don't buy any rubbish.
Back.
That's great. That kind of Andy Warhol, Albert Einstein.
I remember seeing this record a lot of car boot sales over the years.
Yeah, I expect you probably would have done because it was quite a big seller, I think. Not a huge seller, but it did alright for itself.
Yeah, I've never listened to this before you mentioned it.
No.
Obviously, the only track I was really aware of was obviously pop music.
Yeah.
I think, what's the other one I've heard? Cowboys and Indians I've heard somewhere. Yeah. Which is a good song, actually. I like that one. 79, yeah?
79, yeah. So the whole sort of post-punk, new wave into synth pop kind of times, which is kind of the eras that it straddles, really, isn't it? The new wave and synth pop.
It's interesting, this album.
Would come out the same year as the Buggles.
So yeah, it's
seminal.
Buggles, Thomas Dolby,
yeah,
bit Sparks. What else came to my mind? What I found interesting about this album is obviously you've got the kind of electronica aspect of it, almost disco-y, Kraftwerky in places, but also there's quite a lot of orchestration going on. So it's kind of harkens back to kind of the classic pop production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Quite a lot of some of the orchestration's really lush. It sounds expensive.
Yeah, yeah. So the guy, I have to write his name down because I can't remember these things. Robin Scott. It's almost like a one-man band, I think originally.
I assumed it would be.
So he wrote a musical prior to this. So I'm guessing,
really?
Yeah, he's. It's called Heartaches and Teardrops.
Right.
It's apparently a bit like the Rocky Horror Show
right.
in sort of style and maybe sort of music as well.
Right.
I don't know that much about it, but I'm guessing coming from that kind of background and then going into doing something like this is an obvious transition, because this has got quite a theatrical bent to it, hasn't it, in many respects. And then he was also friends with Malcolm McLaren, I read somewhere.
Really?
So, yeah, that kind of... Malcolm McLaren's music from around sort of that time, when he got involved with Trevor Horn and sort of did the Buffalo Gals stuff, which was a bit after this, wasn't it? I think it was like 82. The Duck Rock album. Similar kind of sort of production values as well, but yeah, good music and stuff that people don't really think of when you think of that era, which is what I quite like about it. There's some great tracks on here. It's weird, but it's not. Made in Munich's my favourite.
Yeah, that's good. The vocals will almost have a bit of a punk edge to them.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, and they reminded me a bit of Thomas Dolby as well.
Yeah. I think he did 2 more with under the M name after this. This album's been re-released as pop music, I think, for people that don't want to read all that long lyric on the side of it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why they would have done that other than that. To me, it reminds me Tom Tom Club, the Talking Heads offshoot thing. I really love that album, and that came out 81, say, Wordy Rapid and all that. And I think the guy Robin who did M went on into doing sort of world music influenced stuff after this.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of a bit sort of Tom Tom Club-esque as well, because there's a lot of that in there.
So kind of using sequences and stuff still, but
exactly,
kind of...
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can see like the Malcolm McLaren influence in it, and you can see the what happened with the world music side of it when Tom Tom Club came about, because I think Talking Heads would have been an influence on him as well. So yeah, it's a very interesting album. I've not heard the others, so I want to check.
Really good fun.
Yeah.
Really fun. I had it on yesterday when I was working down here.
Yeah.
It's suited weather. Sun was out. Very happy album.
Yeah.
And like I said, the only thing that kind of threw it for me was the kind of like the orchestration kind of kept it in the 70s. Almost had that kind of Love Boat feel to the strings and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the sort of the forward thinkingness that, like, say if you compare it to the Buggles album the same year, which basically set the blueprint for the whole of 80s music. Yeah. This doesn't have that. It doesn't do that. Yeah. But it's got some great songs on it that are well written and well performed. Yeah, you know when... Whereas Buggles was a level of... Trevor Horn is, a genius.
And also Tube Army replicas. Yeah. Where it's actually a conscious effort to ditch the traditional instruments. Yeah. And actually kind of almost go all kind of cyber electronic kind of stuff.
With this. There is some guys from level 42 on here.
I heard that.
Level 42.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the
So the drummer.
The drummer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the guy. He's one of the founder members of level 42. Which when did they form? Early
I don't know.
80s?
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, around this time, wasn't it? So I think they played on the first couple of M albums at least. Is that you saying the name of the band now? Or are you genuinely interested in what I have to say about M?
No, it's yeah. Fun
So quite it does. It has. I mean, we're recording this in the summer, aren't we? And this is it does have quite a summery kind of feel to it. And I think it goes well with this summery kind of shandy you've chosen. So yeah.
Yeah, enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think it kind of fits.
Okay, well that was a success on both counts.
Kind of works this time. I mean, sometimes the beers and the music doesn't match at all, does it? But
who would have thought it? Foster's Shandy.
I could sit in my garden in the summer listening to this with a Foster's Shandy, and I wouldn't feel.
I can confidently
out of place.
say this is the only video on YouTube where you have two men in their 40s talking about M and Foster's Shandy.
Yeah, those are certainly never going to be repeated anywhere else by anybody else.
Alright, hope you enjoyed that, and leave comments if you have any, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.